Welcome everybody. There's new faces, which is cool. Thank you for inviting each other and making this space grow nice. We're at the beginning of a new journey with Think and Grow Rich. So we've done a lot of wonderful books, but this one's going to be something really different. I have a good feeling about it. So that's why I'm excited. That's why I keep asking you to invite others and share because it's really meant to grow and let's help a lot more people as this year ends in a big way. So let's start like we always start. Let's just be here, okay? I know we got a lot of stuff to do. We've got phones, we've got iPads, we've got beeps, we've got other concerts going on. Let's just be here. One of the functions of the mastermind is we connect together. Try just to listen to understand and do it. Like don't let yourself wander. And if you wander, please come back. That's gonna you're gonna learn how to do that with the power of the mastermind. That's a big feature of it, right? And so turn your phone off, turn the other tabs, be here with me. I'm gonna give you my 100%, and I hope you do the same. And let's get started with some wins. So, who's got a big win from last week since we've met you? Some of you we missed you last week, and the recording of the last session of the As a Man Thinkers is available on the school. So, but if somebody has a big win, let's hear it. Sandra's got a big win. Let's hear it. Sandra, how you doing?
Good, I'm great. I just had such a fun little thing. I mean, it has a sad beginning,
Hmm.
but I had my trainer for weightlifting. She was like, "You need to get out and do more book readings and things like that, and have booths and be a local author." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." So the very next day, or the very next meeting, I had a massage with my massage therapist, and his mom was ill and he wasn't going to be able to have his booth at a fitness expo. He was like, "Do you want my booth for your books?" And
Ah.
I was like, "Yeah." So I went, I was already going to be at the fitness expo doing powerlifting, so I was author powerlifter and I had all my books at his booth. So he gifted me with the opportunity to do that, and it was kind of amazing. So I sold six whole books, but that's awesome.
Hey, that is awesome. Congrats. That's good. Just the way it came about, that's really awesome.
That
That's
was the
wonderful.
amazing part. I was like, "Oh, wow, look at how that worked out."
That's good. That's really cool. Good. Anybody else with a win? Tim's got a win. Tim, what was your big win since last week? Unmute first, please.
There we go. We got confirmation, John. I don't know if you even saw this, that we've got a keynote presentation for the Construction Safety Council on March 2nd at their National Expo.
Hmm.
Uh, we did a brain training program for the board of directors for the Construction Safety Council. And every construction company in the country comes to the Construction Safety Council for their safety protocols. So this is a really big win. So on
Awesome.
March 2nd, we've got a 90-minute keynote. Um, so,
Yeah,
so
That's
that's
good. That's awesome, Tim. I just heard of it. That's awesome. You've been working hard on that.
yeah,
Really.
good.
that
Good,
came
good,
out
good,
good.
good. That is wonderful. I love these ones. Awesome. Nancy, what's your win?
Yeah, BMO Harris is once again sponsoring my table at the Latina Expo,
Okay.
October 3rd and October 4th. And I also connected with other filmmakers in the faith industry and also another reading group, reading our
Hmm.
scripts together. And
That
then
is
business is going great. We continue to get more clients.
That is wonderful. That's what I like to hear because, the money's, kind of, we need that to kind of, oil the engines and keep things moving. That is awesome. And you're doing good things in the world. Welcome, Zinat. Awesome. Awesome. Any other wins? Any other wins? I have one, maybe two. Yeah.
I
Tim?
do have another personal one. I had my knee replaced 12 weeks ago.
Oh, and you're doing great. How are we
It
doing?
was it was a replacement of a replacement. I had it done a year ago and it got infected. So 12 weeks ago they had to do it again. And as you can see, I just got back from a 50-mile bike ride. So
It's
yeah,
working.
it's going very well. I called John when I was on the bike ride. So
That's
uh,
amazing. Wonderful. Well, glad to hear it went well.
from a personal point of view.
Yeah, it's good. Personal is important. Like we have to take care of ourselves and we have to be selfish sometimes, especially as we get to this what I call this middle golden age, right? We're like, in this 40s to 60s, right? We need to take care of ourselves. We need to be a bit selfish, and sometimes you do have to take that time for yourself. Otherwise, your physical being is not going to be there. So, for me, the couple small wins, they're big as well. The school group, which we started a month ago, you all heard it. I wanted to be at a 25 to 50 members. We're at 51 as of yesterday. So it's
Wow.
the universe gives. So it's incredible. This is just posting, no advertising, none of that. And so excited where that's going to go. It's going to grow to hundreds of thousands. So very, very cool. The second one, I will be speaking at the end of the month on Big Table with the millionaires up in Reno with one of my mentors. So that's confirmed now. It's going to be a pretty cool speech and talk for mostly real estate investors and entrepreneurs. So excited about that event. I think.
Congrats, Kamal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Maybe Nancy is going to be there this time. Not sure. Are you going, Nancy, to in end of October?
No, I won't be there in person, but I think I'll be connected online.
Okay, wonderful. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. All right. So, Dr. Pauline, welcome. Good to see you. And Carrie, awesome, awesome. So, Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich. So it's a really beautiful book. And today we're gonna do the first 20 pages. So we'll barely get into the first couple of pages, the first lesson, but I really want to do it a good favor and introduce it properly, right? I want you all to kind of just get, like I said earlier, be here, be present. We are gonna embody this material. I want you all between now and next week to start thinking about this goal. What is this goal? What are you going to get out of this? What is the one goal that you're going to be working on? All right. Over the next 3 months, if you do what I share with you and if what's suggested, you will build several things, what I call the study habit, the taking action habit, and the ability to accept mentorship, the ability to accept wisdom from other people in a mastermind. Everything I do now in my business is in a mastermind fashion, and this is going to teach you that. So the study habit, the taking action on a daily basis is going to be key, and really suspend your disbelief. That's what I could only tell you. Like there are going to be things in here that's not going to make sense. So I want you to just suspend your disbelief. This is proven science. Like it's not just a one-time thing. It's been around for a long time, and we're going to study it for a while. It's going to be a little bit different than the previous books we studied because there's a lot of content. So it's going to be very important that you actually do spend time on the material during the week. Now, I'm not asking 2, 3 hours a day. I'm asking for 30 minutes a day where you study that one chapter. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. Still entering some people into the room. So that's kind of the key, right? So let me get the slide up, the actual book. And now, if you don't have the book, uh, we'll make sure you get it because some of you struggled a little bit to get it. But I think everybody that reached out to me, I made sure you got it. Now, I got this specific version of the book from my mentor, Bob Proctor, who's passed away, right? So I studied this with him in this version. It was one of his master classes and inner circles, a mix in between. And that's how I learned the stuff. And I'm going to share with you some of the stuff that he taught me as we read through it, okay? Really the book is about what Andrew Carnegie taught Napoleon Hill, or what Napoleon Hill went out there and researched these 500 wealthy men of the time. He collected all this information. Andrew Carnegie did not want this information to die away, and he gave this mission to this poor reporter, right? And we're going to talk about the story a little bit more as we go along. Now, you'll see kind of a bit mix of the law of success and Think and Grow Rich. Don't get confused. It's all one of the same. Napoleon Hill at the beginning did the law of success from 1908 to 1927. That's what he did. And then from 1927 to about early 30s is when he summarized it into one big book, Think and Grow Rich. So initially there were 13, laws of success. And from that came that one book. Don't let it confuse you. It's all the same. It's all the same content. Now, I want to share something as well that's critical in terms of I'm only teaching you what I know. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not affiliated with the Napoleon Hill Institute. So I kind of use the original text, what Bob shared with me, and that's what I give you, right? So the Napoleon Hill Institute has their own way of sharing this and their own videos and their own library. So we basically, what this version of the book is the original text reformatted somehow to make it like this. And that's why it's kind of numbered. it's going to be a nice way to kind of go through it. This way you can say, oh, that line on that page, that's kind of the idea. Does that make sense? Kind of, I'm just setting up the stage as to how we're going to be doing this. And then we're going to get some of your input on what you know about the book today, right? So if you look at this page, right away on that first line, right? What's that first line on that page?
Leaders will bounce it down. It's going to get the center field, and home comes the. What do
What
you
do you-
want most?
What do you want most? Thank you, Nancy. That is wonderful, right? So I think it's a big reminder that I want you to be intentional. I want you to know your goal, feel your goal. What do you want most? What it is that you want. I'm reading this book myself because I want something. This is maybe, I don't know, ninth or 10th time I'm going through it in a group as well, because I want something and I want you to want something. Now, I don't want to say, I want money. Well, what is money? That's an extra dollar, right? So we're going to learn how to be more exact. We're going to learn how to get into that special frequency to be specific. Then, there's a bit about the author, but a preface. We're going to read that today because I really want you to connect with the author. I want you to know what the author felt when he was doing it, what the publisher felt. And then we're going to get into the stories. You could see the chapters, right? The introduction, desire, faith, autosuggestion. It's all really high, big words. Imagination, decision making, persistence. We're going to get into all of them one by one every week. So I'm not going to read all this page, but basically, let's get into what do you want most, okay? I'm going to use this book on my iPad as well. And this way I could make notes. And this way I can, kind of. So I don't know how you're going to take notes. I suggest a book of some sort, like a manual book, but I have 3 of them already. This time rolling around, I'm making notes on my iPad as I go along. So it's really up to you, but really have a book dedicated for this. Okay. So with that, welcome for those who just joined. I think I got everybody that needs to get in the room. Nobody's in the waiting room. So like I said, let's be here. I want you to be present. This way the mastermind function would work. I want you to listen to whoever's going to read. We're going to read nice and slow. And I want you to hear it and see it. So there's going to be like 3, 4, 5 time effect. It doesn't matter how many times you've done this before. Because you're only going to get one idea or 2 ideas from this whole thing. So just pay attention. The more you can focus, the more you're going to get out of it. So with that fashion, for those who are new, welcome. Basically, we just pick somebody to read. Somebody volunteers, and then we go around. They read as much as they can. If you run out of breath, or if you get tired, or you find it difficult, you just pass. That's how we do it. And the key to it is being here. This way you know where that person is. Okay, where are we on the page? So,
Can we-
Can
I
you
read?
can you read, Emmanuel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can read. Go for
All
it.
right.
Nice and slow.
Nice and slow. What do you want most? Is it money, fame, power, contentment, personality, peace of mind, happiness? The 13th step to riches described in this book after the shortest, dependable philosophy of individual achievement ever presented for the benefits of the man or woman who search for a definite goal in life. Before beginning the book, you will profit greatly if you recognize the fact that the book was not written and entertain. You cannot digest the content properly in a week or a month. After reading the book thoroughly, Dr. Miller Reese Hutchinson, nationally knowing consultant engineer and longtime associate of Thomas A. Edison, said, This is not a novel. It is a textbook on individual achievement that came directly from the experience of hundreds of America's most successful men. It should be studied, digested, and meditated upon. No more than one chapter should be read in a single night. The reader should underline the sentence which impressed him most later. He should be go back to these market line and read them again. A real student will not merely read this book, he will absorb its content and make them his own. This book should be adopted by all high school, and no boy or girl should be permitted to graduate without having satisfactorily passed an examination on it. This philosophy, this philosophy will not take the place of the subject taught in school, but it will enable one to organize and apply the knowledge acquired and convert it into useful service and adequate compensation without a waste of time. I'm going to pass it.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I'll go.
Go for
Dr.
it.
Should I go?
Yeah,
Dr.
go ahead.
Dr. John R. Turner, Dean of the College of the City of New York, after having read the book, said, "The very best example of soundness of this philosophy is your own son, Blair, whose dramatic story you have outlined in a chapter on desire." Dr. Turner had reference to the author's son, who, born without normal hearing capacity, not only avoided becoming a deaf mute, but actually converted his handicap into a precious asset by applying the philosophy here described. After reading the story, starting on page 57, you will realize that you're about to come into possession of a philosophy which can be transmuted into material wealth, where serve is readily to bring you peace of mind, understanding, spiritual harmony, and in some instances, as in the case of the author's son, it can help you master physical affliction. The author discovered through personally analyzing hundreds of successful men that all of them followed the habit of exchanging ideas through what is commonly called conferences. When they had problems to be solved, they sat down together and talked freely until they discovered, from their joint contribution of ideas, a plan that would serve their purpose. You who read this book will get most out of it by putting into practice the mastermind principle described in the book. This you can do, as others are doing so successfully, by forming a study club consisting of any desired number of people who are friendly and harmonious. The club should have a meeting at regular periods, as often as once each week. The procedure should consist of reading one chapter of the book at each meeting, after which the contents of the chapter should be freely discussed by all members. Each member should make notes, putting down all the ideas of his own inspired by the discussion. Each member should carefully read and analyze each chapter several days prior to its open reading and join discussion in the club. The reading at the club should be done by someone who reads well and understands how to put color and feeling into the lines. By following this plan, every reader will get from its pages not only the sum total of the best knowledge organized from the experience of hundreds of successful men, but more important by far, he will tap new sources of knowledge in his own mind, as well as acquire knowledge of priceless value from every other person present. If you follow this plan persistently, you will almost be certain to uncover and appropriate the secret formula by which Andrew Carnegie acquired his huge fortune as referred to in the author's introduction.
Beautiful.
Pass. That's what we're doing, right? Come on.
What we're doing, let's pause here and we're gonna hear from two or three people. What did we just read? Like, what is he telling us?
Well, one thing he's presenting is the power of a group, right? Mastermind.
Okay.
So we're all here, we're going to read this together, but we're all going to apply it to our lives and bring what we learned from our lives into the group to add more value to everyone.
Okay. I love that. Thank you, John. That's beautiful. What
Yeah.
else?
He's also saying it's all here, but it's up to you to find it, to dig through it, to take it piece by piece. Don't just go through all the words, but take the time to break everything down and really absorb what's here. Slow down.
That is so true. That is so true. It's all here. Emmanuel, go ahead.
No, it was he said what I was gonna say. Basically, it's not something for you to speed read. It's something for you to take your time with and digest it, and then like we're doing here, have a mastermind about it, and then let everybody ideas come together, and then to build something extraordinary, like again specialize
Beautiful.
about it.
I love it. Zinat and then Kim. What did he say?
Yes, so he's also showing us preparation, how to prepare in advance, and then so that we're going to get the most out of it when we come to Mastermind again and read and discuss.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, so you've been paying attention, which is amazing. That's what I want because I want you here. I want you to benefit the most because all you need is just one idea, one shift to move your business to that next level. That's the whole point. Kim, what's your thought?
Yeah, more of the same. The fact that we really need to be intentional, we need to be focused. And I think that more than community, I think he's pointing out that that's a necessary point, that's a necessary piece to our learning process. Is that we really listen to the shares that are coming because they can be very instrumental in how we're absorbing the material.
Thank you so much. That is amazing. I love it. So I'll mention a couple of things. He said we got to study this. That's what we're doing. We're studying this, right? We're masterminding. That's what we're doing. Meeting weekly. And at the beginning of the 2 pages, he said, what do you want most? What do you want most? And you have to not be afraid of it. You have to be not ashamed of it. You have to, and I know some of you want things that you won't even discuss with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend because you think they're going to laugh at you or your family, right? So every one of us is after something and it's right at the beginning. What do you want most? We're working on that. And you're going to come up with it, right? So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for these. Okay, so the second part of this little introduction to what's really happening, right? The tributes to the author. This is a legend. This is not just a regular author. There's a lot of authors out there. And now with the Amazon, the way we print stuff, anybody can be an author. You can do an AI and you can have a book in 2 days. And some people are so proud of it. But this is a book that lasted the test of time. I mean, Think and Grow Rich has 25 years in the making. Andrew Carnegie asked him to spend 20 years researching these 500 wealthy people because he didn't want these people to die with the information. And that's what he did. So Napoleon Hill's newest book, based upon his famous law of success and philosophy, his work on writing have been praised by the greatest leaders in finance, education, politics, and government. It's crazy. You know what was kind of funny? Or interesting too, that second paragraph there, William Howard Taft. In Cincinnati, when I first moved to Cincinnati, there was a street called William Howard Taft. I guess that president used to live there. You know, that must be why the name of the street. I didn't even realize that isn't here. So when I was reading it the last 2 days, I'm like, wow, I know this name from where. So all of us here were having this opportunity to really read and understand the laws of success, which came before Think and Grow Rich. And then he summarized them into this one book. And William Howard Taft goes, I'm happy to have had the privilege of rendering you some slight measure of help in the organization of this splendid course of common sense philosophy. It's incredible. Look what F.W. Woolworth said. By applying many of the 17 fundamentals of success, we have built a great chain of successful stores. That's the king of the 5 and 10 cent stores. That's probably before the dollar store. It's crazy. It's like right there. I presume it would be no exaggeration of fact if I said that the Woolworth Building might properly be called a monument to the soundness of these principles. John Wanamaker, you probably all heard his name. So many movies been mentioned. I know that your 17 fundamentals of success are sound because I have been applying them in my business for the past 30 years. And on and on and on. I mean, some of you probably know some stories of these ones on this page. Who would like to read this page? Somebody can read?
Read.
Go ahead.
I feel greatly indebted for the privilege of reading your Law of Success. If I had the philosophy 50 years ago, I suppose I could have accomplished all that I have done in less than half the time. I sincerely hope the world will discover and reward you. Robert Dollar, famous American labor leader. Mastery of the Law of Success philosophy is the equivalent of an insurance policy against failure. Samuel Gompers, a former president of the United States.
Wow.
May I not congratulate you on your persistence? Any man who devotes that much time must of necessity make discoveries of great value to others. I am deeply impressed by your interpretation of the mastermind principles, which you have so clearly described. Woodrow Wilson, a merchant prince. World's largest maker of cameras. I know that you are doing a world of good with your Law of Success. I would not care to set a monetary value on this training because it brings to the student qualities which cannot be measured by money alone. George Eastman, a nationally known business chief. Whatever success I may have attained, I owe entirely to the application of your 17 fundamental principles of the Law of Success. I believe I have the honor of being your first student.
Mhm.
William Wrigley Jr. Pass.
Yeah. Beautiful, right? Beautiful setting. And he's just showing, and there could be more and more and more at how many really commended him and all the history of it. And of course, the Napoleon Hill Institute. And it's just phenomenal. Now, this is the publisher's preface. So, who would like to read this unless there's a comment on what we just read?
I can read.
Okay, Tim, love it. Go for it.
Publisher's preference. This book conveys the experience of more than 500 men of great wealth who began at scratch with nothing to give in return for riches except thoughts, ideas, and organized plans. Here you have the entire philosophy of money making, just as it was organized from the actual achievements of the most successful men known to the American people during the past 50 years. It describes what to do, also how to do it.
Mm.
It presents complete instructions on how to sell your personal services. It provides you with a perfect system of self-analysis that will readily disclose what has been standing between you and the big money in the past. It describes the famous Andrew Carnegie formula of personal achievement by which he accumulated hundreds of millions of dollars for himself and made no fewer than a score of millionaires of men whom he taught this secret. Perhaps you do not need all that is to be found in this book. No one of the 500 men from whose experiences it was written did. But you may need one idea, plan, or suggestion to start you toward your goal. Somewhere in the book, you will find this needed stimulus. The book was inspired by Andrew Carnegie after he had made his millions and retired. It was written by the man to whom Carnegie disclosed the astounding secret of his riches, the same man to whom the 500 wealthy men revealed the source of their riches. In this volume will be found the 13 principles of money making essential to every person who accumulates sufficient money to guarantee financial independence. It is estimated that the research which went into the preparation before the book was written or could be written, research covering more than 25 years of continuous effort, could not be duplicated at a cost of less than $100,000. And look at the time of money, right?
Yeah.
Moreover, the knowledge contained in the book never can be duplicated at any cost. For that reason, that more than half of the 500 men who supplied the information it brings have passed on. Riches cannot always be measured in money. Money and material things are essential for freedom of body and mind, but there are some who will feel that the greatest of all riches can be evaluated only in terms of lasting friendships, harmonious family relationships, sympathy, and understanding between business associates, and introspective harmony, which brings one peace of mind measurable only in spiritual values. All who read, understand, and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these higher estates, which have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them. Be prepared. Therefore, when you expose yourself to the influence of this philosophy, to experience a changed life, which may help you not only to negotiate your way through life with harmony and understanding, but also to prepare you for the accumulation of material riches in abundance.
Wow.
The publisher.
Beautifully said, right? Beautifully said. Thoughts on the publisher's preface? I mean, I've never read anything like this in any other book. That's my 2 cents.
Again, to me, he's setting the stage here. There's something real here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Don't just, what they call the shelf help books. Don't just read it, put it on your shelf, and pick up the next book. Now, this personally is my third time through Think and Grow Rich. And I'm in another mastermind on it right now where we're in chapter 4. So I'm looking at, paralleling as we go through this. And
Awesome. Anybody else?
Something I'm curious about,
Mhm.
and maybe those of you who read it before can speak to it. It says in the publisher's preface that there's 13 principles of money making, and in the above the tributes to the author, it refers to 17 fundamentals of the law of success, and there are 15 chapters. So I'm curious.
That's a different book. He has.
Oh, is it a different book? Okay.
Yeah, he has laws of success, and you'll see some overlapping, but it goes into even more details, like kind of breaks it down for you. And then he even has Think and Grow Rich with Peace.
Mhm.
And then he has this one, Think and Grow Rich, which is the basic 13 principles. What I've done, I'll be honest with you guys, I've read them all.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
And I continue to read them all because what's really wonderful about this is that we are progressing day by day. If we're going to be diligent with this material, is day by day we're going to be growing. So that when you read, like, let's say next week, you reread something that you read the previous week, it's going to resonate differently because number one, mentally and spiritually, you've already progressed. It's like it's growing. It's like connecting what do we have in our brains? Neurons or protons? they're connecting together, they're firing together, and you're believing it. It's a wonderful experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy.
Very, very beautiful answer. And yeah, I wouldn't get hung up on the answers, on the number of if it's 13, 14, or 12, because we only need one of them to really get to that. But it is true. He's got many books, many, different manuscripts, and it's all combined. And even here, if you look at the content, right? Chapter 2 to chapter 15. So that's 14. But we're talking 13 laws of success. So yeah, it's what Nancy said and more. So, but thank you for that observation. Beautiful. Um, just to mention the quick story about Andrew Carnegie, because I don't know if you all know that story. Basically, like Napoleon Hill was a journalist, a very poor journalist in this company, and he somehow got lucky to interview the man, Andrew Carnegie. He got in, he got the chance to actually interview him. So they got into the interview. The interview went fairly longer than normal, almost 3 hours from what I've been told. Now, after the 3 hours, Andrew Carnegie got a liking to Napoleon Hill. So, and he had in his mind, he was already been thinking as to how is he going to summarize this, theory of success? How is he going to get all these wisdom people who had money and made so much wealth? So then he invited the guy, Napoleon Hill, to come over to his house for 3 days. And that's when he kind of gave him the whole manuscript and taught him all kind of stuff and offered all this to him. So then Napoleon Hill was kind of gracious because he did not have a place to stay, supposedly where they were. And he went with Andrew Carnegie for 3 days, listening to him, understanding what's happening and getting onto that mission. That's kind of how it started with Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. Pretty cool little story. Good. Anybody else? We're good to move?
I want to say, starting with line 42, I would say it's a call to be aware of your focus and don't have it imbalanced in any direction. Therefore, if you're focused solely monetarily and letting other things slide in life. And I think that could happen to anybody at any given point in your life. And I don't think that's a good idea to have your focus in one area. I don't know if it's a Benjamin Franklin thing, but health, wealth, love, and happiness. Focusing, pick your categories, I would say, and be mindful of how much time you're spending.
Beautiful share. Absolutely. A lot of people would think they need a lot of money to be happy, and that's why they're not happy or successful, but it's not just money. There's a whole other way of living to be happy. So thank you for that. This is a beautiful set of lines here, very half a page to kind of say, okay, this is what you're going to get out of this book. Like really pay attention. So thank you for that attention to it, because he puts in quite a bit right here.
One of the things Zig Ziglar always said was, money is not the most important thing in this society. It's about that far behind oxygen.
Yeah.
Right? And he talks about it's the money is important to live, but it's not the most important thing.
Yeah.
And when we define success only by money, then failure also comes naturally by lack of money.
Yeah.
But when success, I look at success. I have 3 children. I have 12 grandchildren. We just had our first great-grandchild, right? That is success right there. When you watch that family and watch their happiness, that's
absolutely. The last thing on the previous page that I'd like to share is just open up, prepare yourself to receive. If you've been working hard, if you've been struggling and it hasn't been working for you because whatever is going on, he's telling us in this last chapter, open yourself up to receive. We have to move to this next level of wealth. You have to allow this abundance to happen. And it's an opening. It's a way of thinking bigger, being bigger, accepting more to come into your life. More relationships, more friends, more fun, more money, more business, the whole thing. So just open up. So beautiful. Author's preface. Who haven't read that would love to read? Go for it.
Okay. In every chapter of this book, mention has been made of the money-making secret, which has made fortunes for more than 500 exceedingly wealthy men whom I have carefully analyzed over a long period of years. The Secret was brought to my attention by Andrew Carnegie more than a quarter of a century ago. The canny, lovable old Scotsman carelessly tossed it into my mind when I was but a boy. Then he sat back in his chair with a merry twinkle in his eyes and watched carefully to see if I had brains enough to understand the full significance of what he had said to me. When he saw that I had grasped the idea, he asked if I would be willing to spend 20 years or more preparing myself to take it to the world, to men and women who, without the secret, might go through life as failures. I said I would, and with Mr. Carnegie's cooperation, I have kept my promise. This book contains the secret after having been put to a practical test by thousands of people in almost every walk of life. It was Mr. Carnegie's idea that the magic formula, which gave him a stupendous fortune, ought to be placed within the reach of people who do not have time to investigate how men make money, and it was his hope that I might test and demonstrate the soundness of the formula through the experience of men and women in every calling. He believed the formula should be taught in all public schools and colleges, and expressed the opinion that if it were properly taught, it would so revolutionize the entire educational system that the time spent in school could be reduced to less than half. His experience with Charles M. Schwab and other young men of Mr. Schwab's type convinced Mr. Carnegie that much of that which is taught in schools is of no value whatsoever in connection with the business of earning a living or accumulating riches. He had arrived at this decision because he had taken into his business one young man after another, many of them many of them with but little schooling, and by coaching them in the use of this formula, developed in them rare leadership. Moreover, his coaching made fortunes for every one of them who followed his instructions. In the chapter on faith, you will read the astounding story of the organization of the giant United States Steel Corporation, as it was conceived and carried out by one of the young men through whom Mr. Carnegie proved that this formula will work for all who are ready for it. This single application of the secret by that young man, Charles M. Schwab, made him a huge fortune in both money and opportunity. Roughly speaking, this particular application of the formula was worth $600 million. Wow, at that age, okay. These facts, and they are facts well known to almost everyone who knew Mr. Carnegie, give you a fair idea of what the reading of this book may bring to you, provided you know what it is that you want. And I will pass.
Thank you. Great job reading. Even before it had undergone 20 years of practical testing, the secret was passed on to more than 100,000 men and women who have used it for their personal benefit, as Mr. Carnegie planned that they should. Some have made fortunes with it. Others have used it successfully in creating harmony in their homes. A clergyman used it so effectively that it brought him an income of upwards of $75,000 a year. Arthur Nash, a Cincinnati tailor, used his near bankrupt business as a guinea pig on which to test the formula. The business came to life and made a fortune for its owners. It is still thriving. Although Mr. Nash has gone, the experiment was so unique that newspapers and magazines give it more than $1 million worth of laudatory publicity. The secret was passed on to Stuart Austin Weir of Dallas, Texas. He was ready for it, so ready that he gave up his profession and studied law. Did he succeed? That story is told too. I gave the secret to Jennings Randolph the day he graduated from college. He has used it so successfully that he is now serving as his third term as a member of Congress, with an excellent opportunity to keep on using it until it carries him to the White House. While serving as advertising manager of the LaSalle Extension University, when it was little more than a name, I had the privilege of seeing J.G. Chaplin, president of the university, use the formula so effectively that he has since made the LaSalle one of the great extension schools of the country. The secret to which I refer has been mentioned no fewer than 100 times throughout this book. It has not been directly named, for it seems to work more successfully when it's merely uncovered and left in sight, where those who are ready and searching for it may pick it up. That is why Mr. Carnegie tossed it to me so quietly, without giving me its specific name. If you are ready to put it to use, you will recognize the secret, at least once in every chapter. I wish I might feel privileged to tell you how you will know if you are ready, but that would deprive you of much of the benefit you will receive when you make the discovery in your own way. Beautiful, highlighted a couple paragraphs there. While this book was being written, my own son, who was then finishing the last year of his college work, picked up the manuscript of chapter 2, read it, and discovered the secret for himself. He used the information so effectively that he went directly into a responsible position at a beginning salary greater than the average man ever earns. His story has been briefly described in chapter 2. When you read it, perhaps you will dismiss any feelings you may have had at the beginning of the book that it promised too much. And two, if you have ever been discouraged, if you have had difficulties to surmount which took the very soul out of you, if you have tried and failed, if you were ever handicapped by illness or physical affliction, this story of my son's discovery and the use of the Carnegie formula may prove to be the oasis in the desert of lost hope for which you have been searching. This secret was extensively used by President Woodrow Wilson during the World War. It was passed on to every soldier who fought in the war, carefully wrapped in the training received before going to the front. President Wilson told me it was a strong factor in raising the funds needed for the war. More than 20 years ago, Honorary Manuel L. Quezin, then resident commissioner of the Philippine Islands, was inspired by the secret to gain freedom for his people. He has gained freedom for the Philippines and is the first president of the Free State. Pass.
I'll go.
Go for it.
A particular thing about this secret is that those who once acquire it and use it find themselves literally swept on to success, but with but little effort, and they never again submit to failure. If you doubt this, study the names of those who have used it, wherever they have been mentioned. Check their records for yourself and be convinced. There is no such thing as something for nothing. The secret to which I refer cannot be had without a price, although the price is far less than its value. It cannot be had at any price by those who are not intentionally searching for it. It cannot be given away. It cannot be purchased for money, for the reason that it comes in two parts. One part is already in possession of those who are ready for it. The secret serves equally well all who are ready for it. Education has nothing to do with it. Long before I was born, the secret had found its way into the possession of Thomas A. Edison, and he used it so intelligently that he became the world's leading inventor, although he had but 3 months of schooling. The secret was passed on to a business associate of Mr. Edison. He used it so effectively that although he was then making only $12,000 a year, he accumulated a great fortune and retired from active business while still a young man. You will find his story at the beginning of the first chapter. It should convince you that riches are not beyond your reach, that you can still be what you wish to be, that money, fame, recognition, and happiness can be had by all who are ready and determined to have these blessings. How do I know these things? You should have the answer before you finish this book. You may find it in the very first chapter or on the last page. While I was performing the 20-year task of research which I had undertaken at Mr. Carnegie's request, I analyzed hundreds of well-known men, many of whom admitted that they had accumulated their vast fortunes through the aid of the Carnegie secret. Among these men were Henry Ford, William Wrigley, John Wanamaker, James Hill, George Parker, Statler, Henry Doherty, Cyrus Curtis, George Eastman, Theodore Roosevelt, John Davis, Albert Hubbard. Do you want me to read all these?
It's up to you.
I mean,
Just
any,
lots of them.
there's a lot of
The
them.
key is to notice the names that you're going to remember, right? Like Theodore Roosevelt, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And John Rockefeller
mhm.
and Edison and Wilson, Taft, Luther
Yeah.
Burbank,
Hmm.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah. See that? Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the Honorable Jennings Randolph, which we heard earlier, Arthur Nash, Clarence Darrow.
Thomas Edison, right? So they're all good, amazing, key people that actually, were there at the time when this was coming about. So that's
That's cool.
a strong message. Okay, keep going.
These names represent but a small fraction of the hundreds of well-known Americans whose achievements, financially and otherwise, prove that those who understand and aptly and apply the Carnegie secret reach high stations in life. I have never known anyone who was inspired to use the secret who did not achieve noteworthy success in his chosen calling. I have never known any person to distinguish himself or to accumulate riches of any consequence without possession of the secret. From these two facts, I draw the conclusion that the secret is more important as a part of the knowledge essential for self-determination than any which one receives through what is popularly known as quote unquote education. What is education anyway? This has been answered in full detail. As far as schooling is concerned, many of these men had very little. John Wanamaker once told me that what little schooling he had, he acquired in very much the same manner as a modern locomotive takes on water, by scooping it up as it runs. Henry Ford never reached high school, let alone college. I am attempting to minimize the value of schooling, but I am trying to express my earnest belief that those who master and apply the secret will reach high stations, accumulate riches, and bargain with life on their own terms, even if their schooling has been meager. Somewhere, as you read, the secret to which I refer will jump from the page and stand boldly before you, if you are ready for it. When it appears, you will recognize it whether you receive the sign in the first or the last chapter. Stop for a moment when it presents itself and turn down a glass, for that occasion will mark the most important turning point of your life. I can pass.
I can pick up.
Oh, beautiful. Go ahead.
We pass now to chapter 1 and to the story of my very dear friend, who has generously acknowledged having seen the mystic sign, and whose business achievements are evidence enough that he turned down a glass. As you read his story and the others, remember that they deal with the important problems of life, such as all men experience. The problems arising from one's endeavor to earn a living, to find hope, courage, contentment, and peace of mind, to accumulate riches, and to enjoy freedom of body and spirit. Remember, too, as you go through the book, that it deals with facts and not with fiction, its purpose being to convey a great universal truth through which all who are ready may learn not only what to do, but also how to do it, and receive as well the needed stimulus to make a start. As a final word of preparation, before you before you begin the first chapter, may I offer one brief suggestion which may provide a clue by which the Carnegie secret may be recognized. It is this: all achievement, all earned riches have their beginning in an idea. If you are ready for the secret, you already possess one half of it. Therefore, you will readily recognize the other half of the moment it reaches your mind. Let me read that again. Therefore, you will readily recognize the other half of the moment it reaches your mind.
Wow.
The author.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good. Love it. Love the
Yeah, super powerful, man. So it's interesting when he says things like Carnegie or 100,000, like we got to translate it to today.
Yeah.
because every time he's saying Carnegie, he's expecting our minds to explode.
Hmm.
Because when during his time, the pioneer that Carnegie is, the things they're achieving, they're literally building America. There is a documentary, The Men That Built America.
Hmm.
Phenomenal, inspiring, but it helps you contextualize what he's writing about when you understand the rise of Carnegie and his backstory. But just absolutely amazing, inspiring, and yeah, this is awesome, Kamal.
Awesome. Really grateful that all of you are here and wanting to dig deeper into the content. And it's really cool. We're all gonna learn a lot. And as you read in the last few pages, we just need one idea. All right, we just need one little thing, and it just why is he saying that? Because we want to shift our health, our wealth, our income, our position, what we want to do, right? So we don't need a lot. We just need to be here and just move to that idea, move that thought, move to that frequency. We're gonna get more into how this works as we get along, right? So unlike what I said earlier, we're not going to get into the lesson one because lack of time. I want to keep us on time, okay? But next week, what we'll do? Where did it go? Next week we will do lesson one, okay? So between now and next week, all you have to do for the next 7 days, just dig into lesson one. Don't go into two, three, four, and five. Just chapter one. Read a few pages a day. Read all of it. That's all you gotta do. Just stay on it. Stay on it. But there's two other things I want you to do. I want you to know your goal. What is it that you want? The fame, the money, the wife, the boyfriend. What is the one thing? I know you want a lot of things, but pick one thing. Like this is what you want. And I want you to write it down every day in the morning and at night. And I want you to take some action towards it. Now you're gonna be scared. You might not take action because you could be scared. So between now and next week, again, read lesson one. Read lesson one every day, every day, every day, every day. Repetition is the mother of learning. That's all we need. So if you can get lesson one between now and next week, this way when we come next week, read it all together, you're going to be magnified a whole lot more. All right. Now, next week, we'll also start with the mastermind principles. You know, he talked a lot about the mastermind principles. We didn't read them this time, but next week, as we start, I have it here on the screen. We're going to start with that. And then this is kind of brings everybody together. You know, it's a beautiful way to bring us in and make us one kind of thing. I release, I believe, I understand, I decide. We've read it before. And I will add it to the WhatsApp group and to the school group so that you can have it and kind of enjoy reading it. It's almost like a little prayer, but I don't want you to be scared. I did have somebody before, I think, that got scared once we read that. It's not a cult. This is not religion. This is not, this is just power, energy, right? So that's kind of where we are. I'm really grateful for those who invited others. Thanks to Doc and Tim and some of the new people here. Sabrina, good to see you. The iPhone, I believe that's our athletic trainer from the other side of the world, Zinat's friend, Zinat's trainer. Anything else from anybody? Anything on your mind?
Oh, I had one visual. Remember the old stereographs? It'd be like it looked like just a bunch of colors on a paper, but when you stared at it long enough, the picture would come out
Mm,
3D towards you.
yeah.
That's what I see here. If you
Ah,
glance at it and walk away, there's nothing there. But if you take your time and really meditate on it and focus on that one central point, it's going to come out and it's going to envelop you into it. So I was just a visualization while you was reading the one piece there. I thought might.
beautiful. Yes, it's all in the mind. It's all about the visualization, that focus, and how you channel it. And if you're having trouble focusing, reach out to me. I'll teach you how. I'll share with you a few things. And anybody else? John, you want to say something?
Actually, I have to jump off. I'm really sorry. I have a
Yeah.
client, but I do want to pass on, someone passed on me a YouTube I've been watching by Myron Golden. Are you familiar with him, Kamal?
Yeah, he is phenomenal. I
Incredible.
love his teachings. He is good.
Highly recommend you guys
Who
do
is
that.
that?
Myron Golden is his
Yeah.
Oh,
name
yeah.
on YouTube.
He's good, but I want to warn you, he's got a lot of fake gurus online that pretend that it's him.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
don't
okay.
send your money anywhere unless you speak to him himself or you know what I mean? He's got a lot of fake stuff happening on his account.
Yeah, don't, I just said some of his advice is right along the lines we're doing.
Yeah. But he is a
Everybody, this is
beautiful man.
awesome. Looking forward to next week and having a great week, everybody.
Yes,
Take
Take
care.
care. Take
Thank
care.
you, John. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes.
Paul, did you say where the mastermind document was?
I'm
You
gonna put
signed
it. I'm gonna put it in the WhatsApp group
You're gonna put it in the WhatsApp? Okay.
make it available. And it's a beautiful thing to read and see. Like if you've never mastermind a business, once you read that, like we're here to give, and if you start showing up to give, even though sometimes in a business you're actually gonna get paid eventually, right, for your service because you're gonna add value. But if you show up to give, that's what's gonna teach you to do. So I will share it in school and on the WhatsApp. So
Thank you.
Thank you. You know what I want to say? Some of us have been here for a while.
yeah.
This feels different.
Mm.
Does for me. I have no. I
think you're ready for more. That's why.
think I should know that, right?
You're ready for more, and he's telling us you're ready for more. So I like it. Good. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Be blessed. Read the chapters, study, take action. I want to know that you're taking action. Action tells the universe you're ready for more. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. Welcome to the school free group. Clients pay $10,000. You get it all for free. Type a group in the comments, and I'll send you the link to join.